Out of thousands of games available, there are those that stand out the most. These are the critically acclaimed ones that receive a lot of attention, not only from critics but also from players. They're the games that everybody talks about, recommends, and considers as one of the best games ever made. Though these games do deserve their due recognition, there are also great games that are not getting the kind of praise they deserve. They're the games that would usually flow under the radar for most people, or the ones that didn't have enough buzz when they launched. One of the most recent examples of this is Among Us, a game that didn't really garner a lot of attention when it first launched back in 2018. But 2 years later, it became the talk of the town and even won some awards, including the Game Awards' Best Mobile Game in 2020. There are many more games like Among Us out there, and with that in mind, we'll discuss 5 of the most underrated games that you can play on PC. Probably one of the most underrated games that you can play on PC nowadays is Mirror's Edge, which was developed by DICE and published by Electronic Arts. It's an action-adventure game that is set in a futuristic world and follows the story of Faith Connors. She is a parkour courier and her job is to transmit messages without getting caught by government surveillance. The game was released back in 2008 on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, then for Windows and PC back in 2009. Mirror's Edge's parkour-heavy gameplay was unusual during that time. In a sea of first-person shooters that had players wielding guns, this game focused on navigating and platforming through the urban landscape. It's probably also why it got mixed reviews and didn't really get much appreciation. But if you play it nowadays, you'd see that it was a great game which inspired more recent titles like Titanfall and Dying Light with their parkour-esque movement and playstyles. Another underrated game is Middle-earth: Shadow of War, an action RPG that's developed by Monolith Productions. It was published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment in 2017 for Xbox One, PS4, and Windows PC. The game was a sequel to the Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor game. As a sequel, Shadow of War continued its predecessor's narrative, continuing the story of Talion and Celebrimbor. It's a game that's garnered mostly positive reviews for its gameplay. However, where it got negative reviews from is on some of the story elements, as well as the microtransactions. It pushed many players away since they can't really understand the purpose of microtransactions on a single-player action RPG. Fortunately, they were removed altogether, allowing players to just concentrate on the gameplay and enjoy frolicking around and murdering orcs on the battlefield. The BioShock video game series is one of the best series that you can play, with the original being considered as one of the best games of all time. Though the sequels were decent, they didn't live up to the original. BioShock 2 was a game that really didn't catch the people's attention in the beginning and was even criticized for being very similar to the original BioShock game. In BioShock 2, you play as a prototype Big Daddy named Subject Delta. You know, those hulking armored suits that wield a drill and protect little sisters? You get to play that in this game. BioShock 2 dives a bit deeper into the creation and usage of Adam, alongside a gripping storyline between Subject Delta, who is trying to neurally link up with Sophia Lamb's daughter Eleanor, before his body shuts down. If you look at it not as a sequel but as a standalone game, you will see that BioShock 2 is actually good. It provided great gameplay and a good storyline. And who wouldn't want to control a Big Daddy while gallivanting in the Rapture? What happens when you release a great game that's sandwiched between a high-profile and highly anticipated title? Well, you become relegated to the side or even accused of being a ripoff. That's what happened to Mercenaries 2: World in Flames, an open-world action-adventure game developed by Pandemic Studios. It was published by Electronic Arts for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Windows PC back in 2008, the same year Grand Theft Auto 4 and Saints Row 2 were released. It was unfortunate that all 3 titles have similar gameplay, and since the other 2 titles were more popular, the sequel to Mercenaries' Playground of Destruction, was relegated to the sidelines. But if given a chance, Mercenaries 2 is a really great game. One thing that you'd like about this game is that it allows you to destroy everything. That includes skyscrapers. It's a game that's full of destruction, which is something that you won't get to experience in GTA or Saints Row. Last but not the least, we have Valiant Hearts: The Great War. When it comes to war video games, it usually involves a lot of killing and action, but not Valiant Hearts: The Great War, a puzzle-adventure war game that's set in World War I. Valiant Hearts is a story about sacrifice, survival, and friendship, showing a different side of the war. It follows the story of 4 different characters, including a nurse and how they helped a young German soldier find his love. It was a unique and fresh take to war, and its visual storytelling as well as awesome gameplay makes it a great game to play. On top of that, it also provides vital information about the First World War and how it affected the countries who participated in it. Unfortunately, its unique take on war didn't really garner much attention, which is why it's such an underrated game. And those are just some of the underrated PC games we have rounded up for you. It goes without saying that if you have the chance to do so, please try these amazing titles out. Are there any other underrated PC games we've missed? What are the games you've played that didn't seem to garner much love or attention? Place them in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching and catch you on the next video.